Greetings, fellow noobs, and welcome to the third and final game between mouzHasu and RAZERInso. I didn't watch any of the replays beforehand, and therefore I have no idea who wins this, if this was a best of three in a tournament or something like that. I have no idea. But Hasu won 2 of the matches so far, so maybe they were just playing for fun. RAZERInso spawning in the blue trunks here in the north section of Lost Temple, which is where we find ourselves. Hasu, of course, in the south. This map, always a, well, any map, I guess, is just the same. For PvP, it's the same. There is no real advantage for Protoss. Usually this map, people say it's Terran-based, but obviously when you are in a mirror matchup, the map is going to have very little to do with how things end up. It's going to be all about what your strategy is, how you execute it, and how good your macro is. And thus far, Hasu has shown that his game is stronger. He's got a little bit better macro. His decision making is slightly better than Inso, knowing when to expand and knowing when to fight off the pressure, knowing when to sit at home, knowing when to be aggressive. These are all little intricacies, and if you watch the last 2 games, then you know that there isn't a whole lot of difference between the 2 players. It seems, as far as skill-wise is concerned, they both have great micro, great in-battle decision-making, but it's the decision to expand. In both games, Hasu decided to expand at around the 12-minute mark, I think it was. And that expansion in both games was the key to him being able to macro up a larger army and defeat his opponent. As you would expect, we are seeing mirror builds. However, this time Inso is getting, I guess not this time, it's the same as previous times, getting out the early Zealot to try and deal with this little probe harass. And what it's going to do is basically make the Zealot chase the probe around the base. Inso getting his probe out of dodge, while mouzHasu, again in all 3 games now, has chosen to forgo the early Zealot and wait for that first Stalker. And we are at it again, ladies and gentlemen, in what is garnered to be the most boring matchup of all matchups. Protoss versus Protoss. I don't know. I disagree. I think some of the most exciting matches come when you're pitting one Protoss player with great micro against another Protoss player with great micro. I think those are really exciting when you have similar builds, similar army strength, and you're able to basically see who is the better player based purely on their skill and strategy. And here we go again. 3-gate Twilight Council for Inso, and we have 2 3-gates Twilight Council for Hasu. Blink Stalkers all around for everybody. Looks like very much of the same for both players. Very much a mirror matchup here on Lost Temple. As we have seen, so far both players have decided to do identical builds both times, and both Inso, though, having his blink out just slightly faster than Hasu, whose Twilight Council is just finished, and immediately blink is up and operational. he has his stalkers congregating at this middle Xel'Naga tower while Inso is hanging out in his base with more units, slightly. And again, equal on pro counts. This time, however, Hasu getting the early robo facility, undoubtedly, so that he can keep an eye on what's happening in his opponent's base with an observer. Still have yet to see, and surprising to me, likely just because I am such a green player myself in StarCraft 2, surprising not to see any Immortal play at all when you are dealing with stalkers for both players, neither player deciding to go after Immortals at all. And now Inso starting to move out with this slight advantage in army, and though not in economy just yet. Inso takes the tower, can see Hasu's force now moving away. Well, he can't see it anymore, but it could initially. The observer is out for Hasu. We have now we have Inso getting his robo facility up. And you know what? When there's no fighting going on, maybe PvP is a bit of a boring matchup. Especially when the players are doing identical builds. Though I must say, I'm curious. I guess I'm not looking to say much, but I'm curious. And here we go again, 9-minute mark. Down goes the expansion for Hasu. He sees that Inso is sitting in his base, camping out. And so the expansion goes down. And now an observer coming out for Inso. And that, again, is going to allow him to, if he does what he did in previous game, is going to allow him to get the Zealot charge and add a bunch of Zealots to his army mix. It's going to allow him, if he so chooses, to get a Robobay. Finally, Immortal coming out for Hasu. Oh, thank you. Finally, Immortals being made. No production at the moment for Inso. And this, again, a little bit bothersome. I really don't like the fact that Inso goes for such long periods without making anything. This is not the first game that it's happened in. And it just feels very all-in-ish. Like he... if he doesn't continue to micro, then there's no way that he's going to be able to back this up. And here come the probes, here come the Immortals, and they are going to take the lead. Oh no, with the blink, they are not going to take the lead. And now Inso, seeing the Immortals, is going to get out of dodge. Probably going to lose a couple Zealots for free here. And Inso is backing off, going to lose that pylon. Once again, with Blink, going to lose a couple Zealots again for free. But Inso turning around just to push Hasu back, and is now Inso making an Immortal. And now a 4th gateway. I don't like that decision making. Would have liked him to perhaps... Now we have Hasu getting a 4th gateway, which he can afford because he does have his expansion up and running. And he's sitting out here watching Inso's army. So, and dropping down a pylon, which of course Hasu can see. Spreading out the stalkers, letting the Immortals get in front, and just going to obliterate these units. No player has any upgrades, and right now, very nice, bringing the sentry in for a little bit of oh, and now Inso has his Immortal on the field, and now Hasu has to run away. Inso, is he going to apply pressure? Yes, he is. He's warping in more stalkers. Hasu's observer right out here, seeing what's coming, Hasu bringing out the probes to help him try and snipe this Immortal. Probes coming in to finish the job, and he is. The Immortal does go down. But Inso using Blink to pick off these probes and zealots. More stalkers being warped in at the top of the base, and now Inso going to have free reign to try and take out this expansion, but he's not going to do it. He is moving out. Instead of moving in, he needs to take advantage of this opportunity to weaken the economy of his opponent. But another Immortal out for Hasu, and now Zealots coming out for Inso to counteract that Immortal and try and pick him up. Now there is a sentry on the field as well for Hasu. Now sentries do not spawn with enough energy for a Guardian Shield, and immediately going to go down. Looks like Razer's got the better concave here, able to take out the Immortal immediately. Now using Blink to move his players back, move his units back, and now looks like Inso is going to have the advantage, and there is the GG. Hasu gives it up, and Inso finally able to take a game of the 3. And my guess is that this was game 2, and the Xel'Naga Caverns game was game 3. So forgive me for getting that mixed up. Perhaps I'll upload them in the correct order anyway, and correct myself in the with an annotation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in. I am likely going to take at least a few days off of StarCraft and away from casting, just to kind of get refreshed and have some other things going on in RL that need to be handled. So, best to you. See you in a few. Keep climbing that ladder.